Okay, so we're going to be talking about making custom brushes, and the motif that I'm going to walk us through is making a brush that makes a repeating pattern. So we want to come down here and we're going to need to be making a repeating unit. So the first thing I want you to do is make a rectangle and fill it in with a color like you see on my screen right here. Okay, and once you have that, you're going to make a bounding box around it. And this frame around it is going to give it the spacing between each unit. So if we want a repeating pattern of these rectangles, we need space between these rectangles. So we want to create a frame around it that gives us that space between each unit. So creating a frame will be the important next step. Okay. Once you have the frame, we don't want to see the frame. The frame is invisible. It's just a spacer, if you will. So you want to go over here to your strokes. Where's my stroke? Stroke. And under the swatches, sorry, you want to take off the color. So there's no color. So now it's just a box. There's no color. So we have our object. We have our frame around the amount of space we want. We're now going to go to our brushes menu, and that's over here on the right. And we're going to go into the brushes menu and we're going to say new brush. So I'm going to click on the little hamburger menu on the right and select new brush. I'm going to open it and we're going to get the new brush options. And so this is where you can select the type of brush you're going to make, whether it's a calligraphic, a scatter, an art, a bristle, or a pattern. We are using a pattern brush. So you want to make sure you choose pattern brush.
Excuse me, will these recordings be uploaded to YouTube later?
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Just like my Antonio.
Okay. All right, so here is the pattern brush options, and we're going to say, I'm going to say dashed line is the look of the brush I want, so I'm going to give it a name. Now here is important. On the new brush, it says fixed. The scale is fixed, pressure, stylus, tilt, bearing, rotation. I'm going to leave it at fixed. And then we're going to do down here under fit, stretch to fit. We want to keep stretch to fit selected, and that's the default. So I want to make sure that that's selected. Under colorization, this is going to be important. You want to say hue shift. This will allow us to change the color of this as we go along. So you want to make sure under colorization, you say hue shift. Now you can see it's giving us a little example of what this brush might look like. And you can see the corners are kind of wonky. So sometimes it allows you to like kind of look at this outer corner tile, and you can click on it and you can show these generated auto sliced, auto overlap, auto in between, or auto centered. I'm going to choose the centered as my, you can choose that. You can also choose the in between. Actually, I think the in between is looking better. I'm going to do this in between one. So you can choose the type of corner, and that's important because, you know, it's going to kind of do whatever. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. And where that appears is it appears here in my brush menu. Okay, so now I can try it out, and I can take and create an ellipse tool. and I can use my brush, and that gives me my pattern on a brush going around. I can make it any size, and you can see that they're perfectly spaced. If I was going to do this in the rotate way I just showed you in the last demo, it would be so much math to figure out to make it perfectly. But if I know I wanted this dashed line going all the way around symmetrically, evenly spaced, this is the way to do it, and it is so much quicker. I can also do it in other shapes. I can do it in a rectangle, right? And then it makes a border. And of course I could draw with it. Yes.
It's not making with the dashed lines with the saved one, but it's making a whole circle. Like, I don't know why.
I'm not following you. So you're selecting your circle and you're selecting over here on your brush that you just made.
Yes, but it's not
And you're
making it with
using,
that pattern. Yeah, but it's
do
just
you
making a
have
normal circle.
do you have the stroke? Are you using just the stroke over here on the left, on the toolbar? Do you see you have a fill? Are you using a fill or a stroke?
Oh, okay, right. I think yeah, let me check that. Thanks.
Okay, sure. You got to be in the stroke. Let me know if that works. So then if I wanted to take this and finish this out as a design, I could take my circle ellipse tool, go on the center, I'll use my option, shift, center it, oops. Circle tool. Circle. Fill, change it to a fill, and I can align these two shapes, select, and center it. And then I have two. There we go. I can also hold the shift key, oops, undo, option shift to make my circle in the center however big I want it. So if I wanted to make like a sun type shape, again, I can select these both to align them. There we go. So does that work for everybody?